African Democratic Congress has accused the Independent National Electoral Commission of bias for recognizing the David Mark-led faction of the party despite a pending court case. In a communique issued after an emergency meeting in Abuja, the Nafiu Bala Gombe-led leadership described the decision as premature, warning that it threatens the foundation of Nigeria's democracy. The party alleged that INEC's action undermines its leadership structure and raises doubts about the commission's neutrality. It stressed that opportunistic politicians were attempting to hijack the party for personal gain, while also linking such divisive tactics to Nigeria's lingering insecurity, corruption, and economic challenges. The ADC confirmed it has filed a suit at the Federal High Court against INEC and those it described as desperate politicians. While urging members to remain calm and united, the party vowed to protect its mandate and maintain its integrity against any external attempts to destabilize it. Victor, what do you make of the ongoing saga in in ADC, sorry. Apparently there is faction in ADC. We have the ADC, I usually call it ADC coalition and the ADC. But then what do you have to say?
It's basic politics being played. You have a platform, and then someone else wants to use that platform. Then politics they will start buying the ones they can buy, and then convince the ones they can convince. That's what is happening. I know that this issue of leadership crisis in the ADC did not start today. It's not even the coalition people that even started it. They've had that leadership crisis even before now. Cases were sent to court where they had issues. The former chairman that was claiming that he handed over to Atiku. I think he was suspended.
Raf Wosu
was suspended, and all of that. So it's politics being played. 2027 has started. Although not as loud as it will be.
One would say it's been very loud so far. From different political parties.
I don't think
it's been very loud, and one would say,
compared to where we will get to, when we get to a certain crescendo, you understand that, okay, this was Momo. So yeah, it's good. However, I still do not understand why. I don't even submit to that word coalition. I don't see what's a coalition. A political party is, of course, a conglomeration of different people with different interests. Come to an umbrella and agree that this is what we are going to, this is our ideology, this is what we want to fight for, this is what we want to push for as a group. When you say coalition, as we understand it, coalition is of different
institutions, parties, yes, in this instance. But this is a formation of individuals.
Is a formation of individuals. Because look, if they had said it was PDP, AMPP,
just like APC,
exactly, that's a coalition. So, but Nigerians like fancy words, and they've used that as a coalition. I think that was the initial agenda they had, a coalition. But apparently, Wiki, of course, did not give them space in PDP to coalesce. Obi was not willing or did not have enough strength to pull Labour into
an obedience.
Yes, an obedience to a coalition. Kwankwaso on his own, he's an independent mind that is rogue on his own, and it's difficult to.
But he has been having talks with the current president.
So now you see that.
So he's weighing his options.
Yes.
Very smartly, yes, as well.
So it's not easy to. So they've not been able to convince these institutions to form a coalition. So they decided to adopt a platform. Fair enough, it's good, democracy. But if you are going to do something, I feel it's wise to do it rightly. And these are the processes. Whatever cases they get, they will have to go through the court process.
But now they are accusing INEC of bias for recognizing David Mark-led leadership.
That's for the courts to decide if actually INEC's decision was biased or not. So we're going to herald through several litigations and legal back and forth, and hopefully they are able to get a platform, because no matter how complex or imbalanced we think the coalition is, we need a formidable opposition. When we have an opposition, the sitting government will sit up. if we don't have anybody threatening to take over power from you if you don't do well, you will be relaxed. So it's good that we have people threatening this government of the day. That will keep them on their toes, and they will now ensure that they, some of the things that they probably would have relaxed on, they will now push. So it's good, and I hope that the opposition continues and even gets even stronger. But for this process, this issue with the ADC, I think it's just politics. And
one would look at the transition process, how they coalesced into ADC. The NEC, part of the NEC is saying they were not carried along. You have Dubembi Kachukwu, who was the former presidential. He has been very, very vocal, and then some state chapters of ADC has come out to reject the David Mark-led coalition. Do not forget also that they are also trying to also install their own people, in states. And that could give rise, that could explain why the Gombe-led ADC is coming out to take this to court, because who knows if they are being threatened of removal at that state level, right? So when you look at how the things are going to play out, one would say David Mark led a school or leadership of the ADC. One would have expected that smart politicians, they would have been able to liaise, and lobby these state chapters to, come to their side. But on the other hand, it appears that they have their own people on ground that they want to install across the state chapters.
Look, what I've tried to do in recent times, look at the pedigree and the precedence of the people that are currently in this ADC and trying to push it. I think apart from Rauf Arabeshola, I don't think there's any other person that has fought an opposition in the national level and did it well. I don't think.
Did Rauf Arabeshola do it well?
Oh, I mean, he has been in the opposition since the.
Yes, but then what's his?
What I mean is,
what's his trajectory like?
That's what I'm saying.
Success rate so far.
I'm not talking about.
Do you want us to open?
No, I'm not even talking about success or failure. Okay. I'm saying the people that have an experience
in playing opposition.
We look at all of them. Amechi was mostly in government. The only opposition that he fought was the one that Jagaban, the current president, was in, and with a major player. After that, he was always. And even at the point, you see how they kept losing. And
PDP was in power for like 16 years. So it's just 8 years out of power.
Okay, see, what do you call it? Atiku. Atiku has been from one party to the other. What has been Atiku's problem? He's not been able to become the priority of the party.
Well, he was in PDP. That was part of what led PDP to the crisis.
Don't forget that it was just, I think that year he left APC.
And joined PDP. I mean, how many times has he left PDP and joined exactly. just to contest for election?
So what it simply means is that these guys do not understand institutional or systematic approach towards opposition. So they are not able,
strategies that are involved.
They are not able to carry a system into another system to fight a system. What they do is they have individuals that they drag along into a fight, and when they lose that battle, they just move on. Carry this.
Everybody was scattered.
Everybody was scattered. They pick the ones. That is how it has always been, and I don't think that is the kind of opposition that is smart. Look at, by now, a serious opposition should have settled the issue of the political party that is doing that you're. But you see them still struggling. I saw some weeks ago. I saw El-Rufai in Anambra State and in Enugu. I laughed. I was laughing seriously.
Why?
You and I know the kind of reputation
El-Rufai has.
So
particularly with Christians exactly. and the South. El-Rufai to the South.
With all the respect.
How do you sell El-Rufai to the Southerners?
So a smart opposition, I would expect, would look for young people, would look for people with certain courage that can convince people. They can play in the background, hold the foundation, push it, and push certain people with, to go and convince people and tell them, no, leave those people, then they with us, but we are going to, convince people that the decision will not be made by only Atiku and Amechi.
But you know, the thing now is you're looking at the broader perspective. I'm looking at the very foundation of this coalition. And that's the fact that even if all these things you said are put into play, and at the end of the day, ADC, David Mark-led leadership of ADC loses in court, probably after primaries are done in 2027. I mean, a court case can drag to 2027. Okay. Court cases can drag to 2027, and judgment can come after primaries deadline. And then, you know, we just... at the end of the day, they lose out. So even with all the pressure that they are going to bring to the table, you find that they will still hold their primaries, and at the end of the day, they will not be able to contest in the election in Rivers State. So this is what I am foreseeing at the end of the day.
Well, I think I want to defy a bit. I don't think that would happen, whether it happens or not. But for me, what is most important is, look, personally, this is my opinion. Nasir El-Rufai cannot be the one selling an alternative to Tinubu to me. I'm sorry.
Your own issue right now, it's not even the court issue.
No.
Your issue right now is Nasir El-Rufai.
Yes. It's not just him. Look, it's not just him. Look at the history that Amechi has. With all due respect to Amechi, you know, Amechi is a good administrator. When it comes to administrating governance, he did one of the best jobs in Rivers State as a governor. But when you ask him how well has he fared in terms of being able to compromise and objectively lead a structure and a people, you see that I think that is one flaw that he has always had. Maybe that's
carry people along.
He has always. Some persons would say he empowered the wrong set of people on all of that. But the question is, these are the persons. Now, Amechi, for me, has a better reputation in terms of precedence to talk about governance than any of them in that group, including Peter Obi. Because the records are there. You cannot compare the impact Amechi had as a governor to that of Peter Obi. Yeah, people are quick to say because he has more fund, he had more. No. It's not about the fund. How much did he do? Compare both of them, in terms of what they had and what they did. Amechi has a better face in terms of coming out to talk to people and all of that. But look at the likes this other person. Are you saying if you want to say your coalition, you're bringing in code? They like to say it's Nigerians fighting. I'm not saying who are the Nigerians. The obedience are strictly there doing their thing as obedience. The coalition, the only anything that will affect the government of Tinubu, they support it. Doesn't mean they are supporting you. So internally they are fighting. The obedient do not trust Atiku. They say, if it's Atiku, they are not supporting. Atiku cannot be the one. So you see that even internally, they've not been able to. What I would have expected a smart group of opposition to do is look, scout for people. These people do not have to be the face of this coalition. Smart for people.
But they made themselves the faces of the coalition.
Because it's ego. For me, that's what I see. And
they should have pushed other people.
Push people.
While
they will still be there.
Sell hope.
Exactly.
What you're saying is, what they should have done is to sell hope to Nigerians.
What they did
while they are the ones pushing those people behind, right? When they sell hope to Nigerians, then Nigerians will be able to buy into the fresh blood, which was exactly the momentum that Obi garnered in 2023, because he was selling hope and a different kind of hope to Nigerians. However, this will be tricky if you look at it from another perspective, because Atiku wants to be president. So if you're saying sell hope to Nigerians, it means that you're pushing a fresh blood for that position. That undermines the interest of Atiku. The singular reason why he left PDP in the height of his crisis, to gather people to push for a coalition. And after ADA couldn't make it, he now had to coalesce with the ADC. So how is he going to push a fresh face and sell hope to Nigerians, which will undermine his own political interest and ambition at the end of the day?
This question speaks to the intention of the so-called of the coalition. Because these are the questions that I don't think they've sat down to think about. Because if they have, I believe their approach towards certain things, will change. Well, it's still early days. I want to believe that as we're talking, so our other person is talking, and hopefully that they will be able to listen. And just like we say in River State, where we have people that are saying reconciliation, and me, I call it, what I see is, I hope for is realization. That these people, like the likes of Atiku, will realize that to change Nigeria doesn't necessarily mean that you must be the president. That Obi will realize that to change Nigeria must not be that you're the one that is president. You gather people, influence people, push people and say, this is the ideology that I carry, this person carries it, I support this person. It mustn't have to be an Amechi as president. It doesn't have to be El-Rufai as president or vice president or whatever. So if they are able to realize on time that at this point sacrifices has to be made. Someone like Tinubu was in that government, did not pose any, we did not see any signal that Tinubu wanted to be president. He kept himself. He was pushing with his money, resources, supporting others.
Until he said
until he got the key and he entered. So this is the kind of intelligence I expect these people to push. One of the things I found ridiculous and which would have made sense is when Obi came out and said he would, even if it mattered, he would rule one term. I think Amechi said the same.
After Obi made that proposal on the unveiling, Amechi went to a television network to also declare his own.
Now the question is, why? And I keep saying,
that's what in Nigerian language they will say is copy kind of thing.
It is the fear of Atiku that is making all of them say this thing. They know that Atiku has an interest that
the coalition is known as Atiku-led coalition. Can we settle that first? It's known as Atiku-led coalition. And Atiku's aide has said over and over again that even if presidential candidates will come up for the party, it will be through delegate Congress. Now, what does that tell you if it's going to be through delegate Congress? If it's going to be through delegate Congress, then Atiku is going to take the day.
So I believe that is what
does P2B have enough delegates? Can Amechi boast of enough delegates in the ADC?
That is why you hear them say things like, even if it's one term. Now, what that would mean is, Atiku, don't worry, since the turn of the South, let me just go this one
term so that
you can continue.
Yes, next time we will not vote for you.
So if you can see through them, if you look at that, this is what. So my question is, if this is your consideration, because you saying even if it means I will do one thing. If you want to change something, come out and change it. So anyways, I just hope that the opposition, they get stronger. I really do not believe that we should have.
Do you see the opposition getting stronger? Labour Party is having its own crisis. The Abure faction and the Osman caretaker faction, there are two parallel lines at this point that will never cross. Right? And you saw what INEC did during the by-elections where Abure's candidates were all disqualified. They were delisted. So during that by-election, INEC took a position in Labour Party. And from INEC's position, it is clear that Abure is no longer recognized before INEC as the chairman of the party. However, on the side of Nenadi Osman, did they field candidates? To the best of my knowledge, they did not. Because, of course, they do not know the position INEC would take with regards to them. And so far, I have not seen on INEC portal where they've updated that Nenadi Osman is the chairman. So, and one would expect that in face of this crisis and them seeing how people are defecting from Labour Party, they will be in a hurry to organize an elective Congress in order to elect the ESCOs of the party. That has not been done. You look at PDP. PDP is still going back and forth, even though to a large extent they are now trying to close up rank and file, but it's still leaking. Yeah. It's still leaking. So you can still sense certain crises that will still come up if not properly handled. That's on the side of PDP. ADC now, the newest kid on the block. already is balkanized as it stands. And this other faction, they are pushing, even though INEC has recognized David Mark, this other faction is saying it will not stand. And you cannot underestimate them or sweep them under the carpet, because, I mean, this is politics. Yeah. And if at the end of the day, ADC works strong enough to become a threat to the APC, one cannot determine what the judicial process will be and how it will play out. And I mean, if it's in court, then it means that ADC is at the mercy of Nigerian judiciary. And we can't say this is how, you know, the pendulum will swing. This is politics. Anything can happen. And ADC will lose out when it is too late to retrace their steps. So which political party now can you say at this point is formidable enough to fight in 2027?
That's elementary. It's obvious. The APC, of course. Apart from the
APC is the ruling party. That's not the opposition.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm calling APC because which party does Wike is of the PDP?
Yes, it's of the PDP.
River State, majority of the chairman of
River State at the grassroots level now is APC, but the ruling party is PDP. So you see that, but the grassroots party.
So you
is
see
APC.
that the opposition, APC in certain places are also the opposition and also the ruling party. So that's why I said APC.
I think one would say that to a large extent, Nigerian politics is evolving into something quite interesting, where it's no longer about politics, political parties, but it's about the individuals and where their loyalties lie.
You know the problem we are having is,
yes,
I know we're used to blaming leadership, government is failing, leadership is failing. But for me, what I believe is that what is causing most of the crisis, especially recently, is the failure of citizens in their responsibility. You know,
our civic responsibility.
We are failing, and what is causing more of the damage is not what the leaders are doing. Rather, it is both what the citizens are doing and what we are not doing. Because look at what you're saying now. These people in the House of Assembly, they represent people. They represent a number of us, right? There are people in their locality. When someone that was in PDP suddenly comes out and to be election chairman is suddenly APC. Who are the people in the PDP that were supporting him? What happened to that support? What happened to that? There must have been a plan and idea that this is what happened. The people are quiet.
They are now a family.
That's my point.
APC and PDP are a family in Rivers State. So
because as a people we're failing in our responsibility to hold people accountable for their actions. Ask them, why did you do this? Nobody has asked some of the chairmen why they were in APC the other day and the next morning they come out victorious in PDP. Nobody's asking that question. So what it has done is embolden the politicians that any move we make, no matter what we do, the people are going to take it.
All right.
So it is the failure of us as citizens in our responsibility to hold our people and ourselves accountable is what is causing the most damage. And see, the trajectory that we're going with our politics is getting more difficult to define. You cannot define the kind of politics we're playing. As a strategist, I know that for every process, there's a plan, a pattern. And this, if you want to track and monitor or understudy anybody or any strategy, you follow the pattern, you follow the track. Then you can define it, okay, this is what is happening. So if I do like this, change. We do not have a pattern. We have an amoebic system that you cannot hold. So you cannot clearly say this is what is happening. How can you define the state in River State? We will not say they are a family. That does not define anything. That does not explain anything. So, and don't forget, this did not start now. It happened in the previous election, the local government election that SIM also conducted. It happened there.
Yeah, the APP.
Yes.
A candidate. Some PDP members became APP overnight.
In short, a candidate won an election, and when they were announced, they announced a different candidate in a certain position. It happened. And the people are quiet. Just because now, I thought somebody were talking and he mentioned that River State people, I say people should stop that nonsense. Can you just say supporters of social person? Can you not put us in an umbrella that we're not even under? So we can separate the business, the politics, and the other aspect of our society, both religious and otherwise. We are not able to do that. So it's difficult. And when you're not able to define and explain the situation, it becomes a challenge that you cannot. You don't know something is a problem. How do you now, solve it when you've not identified? So for me, the people are failing, and this is going to even get worse, because for what the question you asked about opposition, APC is the opposition, APC is the ruling. Is Tonyeko not an Amechis person? Which party is he in?
Well, Tonyeko said he's not going to join the ADC.
That's what I'm saying. So, because he has seen a pattern or a game that they are playing, suddenly I think they realize that, okay, this is not a normal pattern. Let us see.
No, ordinarily, probably staying back in APC, because now at the grassroots level, APC is solid in River State. Exactly. And to a large extent, if APC is solid at the grassroots level, there is every possibility that APC might win the governorship election in 2027, and Tonyeko still wants to...
Which of the local government is APC solid?
Hold on. Tonyeko still wants to run for governorship in 2027 if he plays his card right. Or, on the other hand, APC at the grassroots level, through this local government chairman, may deliver Tinubu in 2027, and PDP still retains the governorship position in 2027. So River State, hold on. So River State, Tony Okocha, of course. So River State.
Does Tonyeko know that?
Well, these are politicians. If the governor could reconcile with the River State House of Assembly members.
Emeka Beke is his party chairman.
Well, you're talking of politicians, correct?
Yes.
So let's just, fingers crossed.
My fingers are not crossed though. They are free.
Fingers crossed.
These politicians will, how do you say that? Look, they will pour you bottom.
There is this saying that I don't usually say it on television, but probably because of River State politics, for want of the best way to explain this Tonyeko situation and the political alignments and realignments, I will openly say this. I usually say in tough situations that in tough negotiations, I always say that even by special arrangements, even devil visit God. In the Bible, Job chapter 1, the Bible says that the children of God were gathered and devil, Satan was in their midst. And God had to ask Satan, where are you coming from? From roaming to and fro.
I think you hit home wrong.
Yeah. So,
whatever reason you used it, is clearly understood.
So even at that could play out. You never can tell what will happen. So one would say RISEC did not recognize Emeka Beke. There had been a court judgment that supported the removal of Emeka Beke by the APC State Executive Council. So that court judgment still stands, and the National is also backing is backing Tony Okocha and has responded to Emeka Beke's letter telling him that he's an impostor. So if he's not recognized by RISEC, he's not recognized by the National, and there is an earlier judgment prior to this time removing Emeka Beke, what is he holding on to?
Let's say, 2027 is still a couple of months.
It's going to be very interesting in River State, just like every other state.
It will.
But then one would say that I see a season of even more or greater political alignments and realignments within political bigwigs, and I am seeing also some secret reconciliations that are going to happen because of political interest.
It will always, it's politics, and politicians will always, like they say, in politics there's no permanent friend.
No permanent enemy, permanent interest.
So of course they would, always look for ways to push their agenda. And I just hope that agenda also, in forming that agenda, they should consider the interests of the people.
informing the agenda, they should consider the interest of the people. Like you talked about the people also taking a back seat when it comes to political decisions that are being made. One would say, to a large extent, either the people are just tired, on one hand, or the people are busy trying to survive. Because poverty itself is a weapon. If you understand weaponization of situations in this instance, poverty itself is a weapon. So is it going to get better? People are busy trying to survive than to carry placards to stand on the streets.
You know the narrative by Joseph Stalin, where he talked about the chick or the hen, where if you pull the feathers, you know, it is still you that has taken. When you come close, it will come to you because you want. This is, I agree. This is what is happening, you know, in not just Rivers State but the country. However, while we know that the people are greatly disadvantaged, we cannot give up on our responsibility, because giving up on our responsibility is giving up on our existence. As long as we're still living, breathing as a people, then our responsibilities do not go away. Whether you are angry or not, whether you are being treated, whether your parents took care of you or not, by the time you wake up in the morning, you will be hungry. So since that is not going to stop, we need to keep pushing, asking questions for a better society, and also playing our role, because until we start, it is not a single politician that goes on the road to change name. It's still the individual, the people, like you know. So we need to collectively agree that we want better and we need to do better.
You're right.
And that's the only way we can make real progress.
All right. Thank you so much.